Petroleum is a Fortune Global 500 company and India's second largest oil and gas company, and one with a very powerful brand identity and known for market innovation and customer centricity. From introducing India's first branded fuel to innovative retail experiences in their fuel retailing outlets, to loyalty programs and fuel quality assurance programs, BPCL has always been first, innovative, and very customer-centric. Today, we will hear an amazing story of how digital transformation has led to business transformation in one of India's best-known energy brands, Bharat Petroleum. Today, we're privileged to have with us Mr. Peethambaran Thankappan, Executive Director, IS and Digital Business, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Ltd, the man who's revolutionizing Bharat Petroleum through digital, in conversation with Hari Shankaranarayanan, Managing Director and Lead Energy Accenture in India. Hari brings rich experience when it comes to the energy sector. They will discuss how Bharat Petroleum's digital transformation has led to business transformation. And believe me, this is a fantastic story. Hari, over to you. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you, Ivor, and thank you, Mr. Peethambaran, for taking out the time. Indeed, a privileged and an exciting moment for us to have this interaction at a very opportune time for the energy sector and as a whole, and BPCL in particular. It's very interesting to see all the geopolitical challenges that are there as far as tensions in Europe and the crisis that we see closer home in Sri Lanka are concerned, as well as some of the impacts that some of this has had on the energy sector. Things like the crude price going up and priorities shifting from whether it is profitability or distribution or looking at the retail expansion itself. There are plenty of challenges and plenty of action that's happening in the energy sector. Mr. Peethambaran, the first question to you is, how do you see some of these challenges impacting BPCL as a whole? And more closer to home, what are some of the actions you're taking to counter some of these challenges?
Basically, if you talk about the disturbances, what is happening actually? So that, of course, it's not a BBC phenomenon. It's an all India phenomenon. It's a world phenomenon. Of course, that little bit disturbance, but of course, I can say that in Bharat Petroleum, we our customer never felt it actually, because we could arrange fuels on time, delivery on time. There was no disturbance actually. There is no delay in delivery actually. So that is what our prime importance. So that way we are not affected actually. And second thing, we all know that actually the entire world is moving towards green energy. So we are also bringing our footprints there. Actually, we have, as a company, we have made an exclusive business unit for renewables to bring an intense focus into renewables actually. And we are also getting into EV segment. You would have seen that actually we are the first one to bring an EV corridor, that is from Chennai to Trichy. There's an entire corridor we have made it EV, so that people need not worry that actually then they start the car, whether the second station is available, third station is available. So end to end, we are the first one to bring it actually. So those segment we are working. And of course, the last one is basically the digitalization actually. Why we are moving into that area? Because such a massive company, because you all know that actually we have got 8 business units, 20,000 retail outlets, almost 2.1 crore customer coming to our outlet every day physically. And almost 5 crore cylinders we deliver in a month. That means 8.9 crore customer segment. And aviation, then lubes and the direct customers. So that is the reason we are now very heavily on digitalization to have a deep understanding of the customer so that we can develop something better for the offer.
Excellent points, Mr. Peethambaran. Thank you for that. That's a good segue to get into some little bit of detail on 2 points you mentioned. So you mentioned that there are 3,000 plus retail outlets serviced by BPCL across the span of the vast geography of India. From the reaches of the Himalayas to down south, where you spoke about even EV corridors coming up. Interestingly, what are some of the digital tools and techniques that you're bringing in to help cater to some of these retail outlets and to make sure that some of these retail outlets perform well?
See, actually, I told you actually, because we have got a huge segment of customers across the country, rural, deep rural, urban, semi-urban, across it. And we all know that actually any marketing company, 2 items are very critical. The one is deep understanding of the customer and extreme efficiency in delivery. Any marketing company is required. So in our company, our philosophy is basically approaching the problem in a PPT way. That means people, process, and technology. These three has to go together. Technology alone cannot deliver. Process alone cannot deliver. But a combination of people, process, and technology can do wonders. That exactly we went into that actually. So when we looked at our customer segment, because earlier what was happening, when somebody is coming to my retail outlet, they are dealing only with my retail outlet. That customer may not be coming to our LPG segment, may not be coming to our loose segment, may not be coming to our INC segment, may not be coming to our aviation. So we had no visibility. That is why we thought actually we should bring a common place. Customer can come to digitally and transact. That is why we brought out our digital app actually. That's a super app, Hello BPCL. Hello BPCL is a super app. One place you can have the complete view of the customer. A complete view of the company. That's why we wanted to give a unified view of the Bharat Petroleum. That means Bharat Petroleum is not retail alone, not LPG alone, not lube alone. So everything is together. So customer need not search for different places. Come to one place, get all facilities. And simultaneously, we will also get a unified view of the customer. So that customer is requirement, what is their requirement, what is their need, that we can understand. And similarly, we brought another digital intervention. This is the mobile app, and another digital intervention we brought is a chatbot. That's called Urja. Urja chatbot, I can say you actually now under almost 3 crore transactions are already over. And one thing what we did, considering the spread of the country, we brought it in 13 languages, not English alone, not Hindi alone. Because in our country of this kind of span, we know that other people speak different language. And always people wanted to speak their own language first. So we put 13 languages. And we get around 25 to 30,000 booking per day, almost 1 lakh transactions happening in our Urja chatbot. People have been, it is being used widely actually. So that's another digital intervention we brought it.
Great points, great points. And I can see that that has ensured that, you get both the unified view of a consumer and the consumer gets to interact seamlessly with BPCL.
Exactly.
And both are, I think, benefiting significantly from these interactions. Looking at it from a B2B angle, you have a number of dealerships, close to 20,000 dealerships that do fuel dispensation. So together, BPCL and Accenture had conceptualized a project called Project Iris to integrate the digitally integrate the dealerships back to the business and to give a so-called a platform for that interaction to happen. Can you touch a little bit on what that platform is and how that supports and drives value for both BPCL and for the dealerships?
Yeah. I'll come to that. Basically, we went into digital journey actually because in this kind of journey, you can do a transformational journey actually. It has to be bottoms up, and the senior management has to have the will actually. And I am very grateful actually. Our senior management was continuously standing with us for this actually, and particularly I can mention our CNMD was almost every monthly reviewing personally what is the progress. That was the kind of intention of the senior management, but the process has to be bottoms up. So first, we'll have to address what is required for the customer. That we had a lot of focus groups and understand the requirement of the customer from the field people. Because any marketing company, you see that there are two kinds of people. One is serving the customer, and the other segment is serve those people who are serving the customer. So we got the input from the people who are directly in touch with the customer. Then we came back and started touching. Then we had a focus group meeting. We decided that this is the kind of system required. That is why we went into Accenture as a technology partner. And when we aligned together with Accenture, but the best part happened was actually we could bring our thoughts, and Accenture could bring the best technology available to matching our thoughts actually. So that is where the Iris came. What Iris is doing? Iris is now connected with the 20,000 outlets across the country. Precisely now 17,800. Other routers are getting connected actually. All our routers are 100% automated. And our Iris is connected all of our operating locations, that's retail installations, and all connected to LPG bottling plants. What we are getting in the Iris, basically all the exceptional reports they are getting. The entire thing is continuously monitored from Iris. And if I can give an example, actually, suppose if you go as a customer, if you go to retail outlet, what is the basic concern? Because all our digital technology brought it actually take away the concern of the customer, take away the pain of the customer. What I think it actually, whether I'm being charged correctly, my price is correct, whether I'm getting the correct quantity, whether I'm getting the correct quality, whether the outlet is managed safe. These are all the concerns normally we have as a customer. Because we don't see the product. If petrol, diesel, we don't see the product, we go, the machine is set and automatically filled. That's what. So always the concern was there. So if you wanted to take away that concern digitally, today what is happening, entire our outlet, through the Iris, we are monitoring whether RSPs are automatically transferred centrally. The RSP, that means the retail selling price, at 6 o'clock, it's automatically transferred centrally through the platform. And IRIS is monitoring whether it is transferred or not transferred. If it is not transferred to a particular outlet, that outlet is not allowed to sell the product at all till it is corrected. That is where IRIS is acting as a central control unit for us. The second part comes to quality. How do we know the quality of the product? That can be a concern of the customer. So we are taking away that concern also. All our installations are 100% automated. That means if the lorry goes inside, they will go to a specific place and automatically filled, automatically cut off, and each lorry is digitally locked inside the plant. And digital lock is also in a geofence. That means the lorry comes out, they cannot lock it. So it's a geofencing. That means authorized product at authorized location, it is locked. That is monitored by IRIS again. When it's come back, then after reaching the retail outlet, the travel time is there. So people can think that the lorry fellow can do something travel. No, because that entire travel is monitored by VTS, vehicle tracking system. That vehicle tracking system also monitored by IRIS. If somebody is deviating from the standard path, IRIS send an alert and block that lorry. So that means he can't deviate. So he brings the product inside. While unloading, again, the IRIS is monitoring the correct product is getting unloaded. There's a video analytics available, and there is a ATG that we call the automatic tank gauging system. So each tank level is continuously monitored in IRIS. So the correct quantity coming from the installation, getting unloaded, then come to the machine. So entire quality part is monitored. Quantity part is monitored. Quantity, definitely we have world-class MPDs, but still again, we are checking that MPDs. There's a predetermined frequency of testing all the nozzles. If all the nozzles are not tested as per the predetermined quality of time, then again IRIS is not allowing that machine to sell. So that way, RSP is taken care, quality is taken care, quantity is taken care, and of course, another part actually, we in the tank level also we are continuously monitoring. If you allow me, I can give an example actually. When we had the last flood in Chennai, 56 outlet, the water gone inside. It can happen actually. Underground tank, water gone inside. It was a flood actually. Water gone inside. 56 outlets, IRIS blocked the sales so that no water will go to the customer's car tank actually. It was something very, very good actually. Everybody appreciated. Otherwise, normally this kind of flood, some water will go, some cars and all. It was possible. But today, IRIS is not allowing that. That means water has gone inside. It is coming to level, predetermined level. The machine is cut off from that. So that way, I can tell you all the pain of the customer, all the concern of the customer, we are taking away digitally, and Accenture is standing with us to support that actually continuously monitoring. It is working fantastically.
Excellent points, Mr. Peethambaran, and both on the quantity, on quality, and ensuring timely delivery, the IRIS platform plays a very crucial role.
If you allow me, I can give one example that is something very, very much connected to the safety actually, because we have got a system now monitoring the critical activities at all the locations across the country. That means our operating locations. We have got 85 plus retail operating locations, 54 plus LPG operating locations. Suppose they do a hot work there. A hot work means something connected to building and all, if it is happening in supply. That permission now happening through IRIS only. And IRIS continuously monitor. There is a video camera and continuously monitor actually. Suppose I have given a work permit for a contractor from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Then IRIS will send a message to the field actually, yes, now we can start the work is started. In between the camera connection is cut off, work is stopped, alert is gone. Suppose if he is not wearing the the PPE, that personal protective equipment, the message is sent to the concerned man, this man is not wearing the personal protective equipment. And suppose he is continuing after 5 o'clock, then again the alert is coming, sir, your permission was only 5 o'clock, this fellow is continuing the work. So this is something very good happening, so that every hot work is continuously monitored from IRIS.
Oh, excellent points. And I think that was a very good example of how safety and video analytics can drive safety and be monitored centrally as well. And I think that's a fair point to add to the entire depth of everything that IRIS is taking care of today for you. What does IRIS stand for, and why the term IRIS was chosen, Mr. Peethambaran?
See, IRIS, you see it. If you the literal meaning can be anything, because it's something connected to your eyes, the nucleus actually, you see it actually. So basically, this we call it as our digital nerve center. Because entire data, because if you see the IRIS platform, you see that millions of data point is there. Millions of data is coming to the IRIS, because all we are using AI, we are using IoT, all kind of location, all kind of data is coming. If you take 20,000 retail outlets, more than 170,000 machines are there actually. From those machines, the data is coming. So we take it as a nerve center actually. For us, it's a nerve center. It's a heart of the operation now.
Excellent point. So just like the optic nerve sitting inside the eye,
exactly. That's
everything. every piece of data. When you were describing Iris, you mentioned certain points around how you've used sensors, geofencing, and in cloud and machine learning and analytics. There are plenty of interesting tools and technologies that have come into play to bring Iris to life. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, how does all these technologies interface with each other, and how do you ensure that these technologies work seamlessly with keeping things like data security, data privacy, and e-commerce related security aspects all coming into play when you do such vast volumes of transactions?
See, there actually we have a lot of internal security systems actually, and suppose you take each locations actually, before getting the data, there's a certain firewall actually, and each data is coming through the firewall, so nobody can modify the data, nobody can attack the data. Then coming to Iris, before reaching Iris, there is another firewall actually. So we have taken those kind of security at both places, and when people who are accessing actually, there is a password protection actually there actually. And even all the endpoints people who are accessing, actually, there's an antivirus available. So every access point is controlled by your antivirus and endpoint security through the password, multiple password actually. So only authorized person can access the data also. And coming to the data point from the operating location, from the video cameras, we have got all the places there is certain firewall, and it is continuously being monitored by our CISO setup, basically the Chief Security Officer setup. 24/7, everything is under radar actually.
Excellent points. One of the other points you had mentioned a term which is commonly called PPT by you. PPT for everybody means very different, but what you call PPT was people, process, technology coming together to drive value. One of the things to understand a little bit more is how what are some of the challenges that you faced in bringing together people, process, and technology to bring a platform like Iris to life?
That's what I said. Actually, this kind of initiative has to be from bottoms up. It cannot be driven from the top actually, but top can have the intention and they will guide you. But if everybody has to own it, actually, it cannot be one man's job. No, everybody has to own it. And that's our company like ours with the 20,000 network and the 3,500 distributorship. Everybody has to be part of it actually. So what we did actually, we had extensive ideation workshops involving all the people in the field, all the stakeholders, extensive workshop, and their input was taken. And their input was taken, the system was designed. After system is designed, again we went back to them. Boss, this is what designed actually, this is what your requirement, this is what coming. If it is matching your requirement, there's something more is added. That is getting added. Then we start with Accenture. They said, this is what our requirement. Now you select which technology, which best technology is available, bring it so that we can match it actually. So that is the way it was bottoms up, and always continuous support from the top management and continuous handholding from the top management. These two have to merge together. That's what I said, people, process, technology. Technology alone cannot do it anything. And I can have an excellent process, but the people are not owning it. This kind of initiative, the ownership is more important. And the ownership will come when you co-create. Now the whole initiative, I am also saying is, I have a part of here. Typically we speak in Hindi, Mera wala cream. Everybody can see their cream inside. So it is not a Mera wala cream, it is an Amara wala cream. So you bring that feeling in everybody, things felt in place. And another thing actually, not only inside the company, even the stakeholders, we are now continuously conducting extensive workshop with our network, saying that actually this is the technology and this is going to take away a lot of pain. If you allow me, I can tell you what way the Iris is helping. See, what we discussed was Iris is helping the customer. I can tell you what way the Iris is helping my network. That is my stakeholder, that's the retail outlet owners. So earlier what was happening, every day 6 o'clock somebody has to come on the computer and change the RSP. Today it is not required. His system is taken automatically taken care. So he can see it in his mobile also, he can see it in computer also, in the house cycle, yes, everything is working perfectly. So that pain is taken away. Another thing, there is no water going inside the tank. If at all water going inside the tank, system is cutting it off. So he has no tension of something can happen in the outlet. And another thing, actually, the product is getting unloaded, is continuously monitored by the ATG. Level is getting increased. So that is also available to him. That means no other product can come in his tank. So he can have a comfort that actually only authorized product is coming inside the tank. So he has got all kind of comfort. And again, nozzle is being tested. That means there is no under delivery, there is no over delivery. So that will also ensure actually correct quantity, correct quality, correct price it is being charged the customer. So that comfort digitally using this kind of technology we are giving the network. So they are also very, very wholeheartedly supporting us.
Oh, absolutely. And these are some great points on how the dealership themselves are taking up something like new age technologies and making sure that these technologies not only drive value to their businesses, but also ensure that the consumer also the consumer brand of BPCL improves and gets impacted over time. Those are all pretty interesting and pretty differentiated points. A last question from me in terms of looking at IRIS, what next? So I've heard plenty of interesting points that you mentioned about what IRIS does for you. What is next for BPCL in terms of driving value to the dealerships, to the consumers, to the crores of consumers, 20,000 plus dealerships and stakeholders?
See, now earlier also I said actually, because any company, deep understanding of the customer and extreme efficiency in delivery, these two are critical. Deep understanding, how the deep understanding will happen actually, because I have to get the data. Because many things customer will not tell you. See, if the company who is capable to understand the unspoken word of the customer, they will be sustainable in the market. If I'm only listening to what customer is speaking, I'm missing something. So by unspoken word, I can understand through technology only. If I get the data, get the pattern, using AI, I can find out actually what he is looking. Many of the offering what we have brought it, customer never asked for it actually, but we can understand there is a pain. If you allow me, I can give an example. We have brought a product, digital product called UFill. UFill means because we could see that early customer is coming, then filling, then taking the cash, then paying it, then going to payment and all. They were taking more of time, and the machine is setting by somebody. Definitely, machine is set by the delivery DSMs inside the retail outlet. We brought a tool actually to take away all pain of the customer. Now, customer can pay anywhere from any time. It's a UPI payment. They can just pay it and they will get a QR code. Then they can just come and scan the QR code on the machine. No manual intervention. Just scan it, the machine get automatically set it, then fill it automatically. Just fill it. You have to put a nose only. Fill it, automatically cut off. Once the cutoff is over, he can just take away the vehicle and go. He need not wait there. So we are saving the time and we have given 100% trust. 100% transparency to the customer through the digital technology. These are all we are understanding by this kind of data. And another thing, actually, once the data comes, we have got a very strong business analytics group. So once the data comes to me, and IRIS platform itself giving lot of analytics to me every day. This segment there is a problem, this area problem, this geography there is a problem. So I am able to take proactive action from the analytic dashboard, and also from my business analytics will give more meaningful insight so that I can further improve and bring out something new to the customer before customer even thinking it of. That's what the next tackle. Because I always say that actually, if you are capable to listen to the heartbeat of the customer, you can be sure of your heartbeats.
Absolutely. So it's not just about what the customer tells you, but also about how you can anticipate the customer's need before the customer themselves get to understand what they want. You're ready with an offering and you can roll out the offering. And I think that's a fantastic artificial intelligence and machine learning to drive for the future.
But I can tell you, before you close, I can tell you one thing actually. Anything to work, I strongly believe actually, if you want to deliver an ACE performance, you should have an ACE culture. And ACE culture, I see it actually alignment, clarity, and energy. ACE, A for alignment, C for clarity, and E for energy. What I can say that actually our relationship with Accenture, these three letters exactly fit into. Because alignment, what we wanted, and Accenture goes bring the technology and align it properly. And clarity was very clear from the very first day what we were asking and what they are understanding. And energy, both the side, it's I can say it's an unlimited energy. I think this is one of the projects Accenture also would have done. Hardly 60 days we were up with IRIS. And during the pandemic time, we had a lot of struggle, a lot of contractor issues, a lot of vendor issues. Still, both the people came together. So I will always call it as a ACE performance.
No, excellent points. And definitely the ACE performance has been a mutual journey for us as well. And I think there's been enough alignment, clarity, and energy from both sides to ensure that we drive towards success. You touched upon a very interesting point as you were closing out the last comment on how during the pandemic this project was rolled out, and the entire IRIS Nerve Center was conceptual, from conceptualization to design to go live took about 60 days. From a people perspective, what are some of the key challenges that you faced in terms of getting the people onboarded, the various stakeholders onboarded, and especially in an environment where people are used to doing business in a certain way and suddenly have to change the ways of working with digital technologies coming in. So there's human plus machine. How did you make it a reality?
See, the passion will come from that. Actually, I am also seeing my contribution is there. My contribution is rewarded, recognized, and inducted in the company. So without passion, you can't do this kind of activity, actually. So we created that actually, and people voluntarily contribute. I can tell you, many of the days our Irish center is in Noida. People stayed there continuously because travel was restricted, movement was restricted, and all. People stayed there continuously, whether from Accenture side, whether from BPC side, from vendor side. We could arrange the stay. People stayed there continuously until it actually. And some of the vendors could not do it, and if it was through VC, we could do it actually and communicate. Continuous VC was happening actually. But above that, I will say that actually once we discussed, everybody said, yes, there is something in it for me. And that passion has driven the whole initiative very well. And we all felt it actually, we are doing something for our end consumer. And we always see it actually, he's our owner. Ultimately, the customer's money is my salary. And companies, everybody's salary. So we always see that, so it actually customer is going to get benefited because in the entire platform, when the discussion happened, we split it into 3 categories. That means trust, convenience, and personalization. Give 100% trust to the customer. Take away the pain of the customer. You can just come to the BPC outlet. Everything is taken care by us through digitally. And convenience, you feel was best example of convenience, sir. You don't waste time. Just come here, transact, and go. And personalization, that way we are getting a lot of data. Through the business analytics, we are getting meaningful insights so that we can go back and say, sir, this is what you are looking for.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for both the engaging conversation and the detailed examples that you passionately put out, Mr. Peethambaran. It was a really pleasure to partner with BPCL in driving this IRIS program and the associated driving the benefits to the consumers and retail outlets as well. Back to Ivor for closing out.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a fascinating conversation. I've been listening in. I think, Peeta sir, it's been amazing what you have done, and especially when you described how you all did it during the pandemic, how people from BPCL, from Accenture just stayed there because you couldn't work, and how fast it was done. Truly, I think it's been a brilliant partnership, and I think an amazing story of how digital transformation happened during the pandemic and has prepared BPCL for the future. Thank you for these brilliant insights, and thank you, Hari, for delving into your rich experience in energy and really, helping Peeta sir really come out and with these amazing questions, right? That has really brought out these gems. Thank you, gentlemen. It's been a real pleasure having you on this Accenture Business Journal for India Leadership Dialogue Series 2022. And viewers, we have a lot more such conversations coming. Very exciting conversations on how Accenture and some of India's top companies have worked together to drive digital transformation and using that to drive business transformation. Thank you so much, gentlemen.